From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
And we are so glad you are here on this Monday morning. Thanks for joining us, January 8th.
Yeah, let's get it started.
Get some National Guard out here, get the military, try to tackle the situation.
A community outcry for safety. People who live in Oakland coming together after loss, saying street by street, we deserve better.
I look to my left and there's this huge chunk, part of the airplane, just like missing.
I felt the wind come forward and then it came back. It hit me in the face.
Passengers grateful it was not worse after trouble in the skies. How the fallout might affect your travel plans.
Draymond Green has joined the team courtside. That's also good to see.
A new day for Draymond. Top basketball bosses give the go for Green. Will the move get the Warriors back to winning?
Oppenheimer!
You get a globe and you get a globe. Oprah for Oppenheimer on CBS. The wins and those who left wanting as Bay Area watch parties saw the fashion, the moments, and everything that left people talking. It's a new day in the Bay, everybody. Let's do this. All right, those of you who love Joan Rivers, you ain't seen nothing yet. We're going to be talking fashion at the Golden Globes in just a minute. Good morning, everybody. I'm Reed Cowan.
And I'm Gianna Franco. Cillian Murphy was so cute. I guess someone kissed him on his nose with red lipstick. So he was not even, it's like, I'm not even going to wipe it off. Just go and have my moment.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yes, that's why his nose was so red.
Because it was like cold outside or what was happening there?
You thought he had a cold there.
I'm Nicole Zalumis, and I'm so excited to talk about the fashion because, you know, we've only been doing it for the past 3 hours, hanging out here with each other, the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah, and we had some of that. Let's take a live look outside this morning, maybe change the subject, at least for the time being. And you want to see the beautiful, the wonderful, and the more beautiful? This is what we're looking like outside. Now, there is another side to this story, and that is the fact that clear skies equals cold, and Darren Peck is here to warm us up, not only with his magnanimous personality, but with the explanation of what we can expect today and going into the week.
It's too early for four-syllable words.
Magnanimous.
But I'll take it because it did sound like a very nice compliment. That view you were looking at was the Santa Clara Valley, and you were seeing the clear skies there. Santa Clara Valley is one of the many locations this morning that are waking up under a frost advisory. Got into the mid-30s so far in San Jose. North Bay Valleys, you're there. Inland East Bay, you're there. The only place that's not included is the immediate bay. Let's use the virtual map, and I'll show you kind of how this is playing out today. And first of all, you just look at the numbers. If you look at the numbers that are right along the bay shore, you're not included in the frost advisory because your temperatures have stayed, 40s. Look at Oakland and San Francisco. The numbers down here are in the 40s, and then all you have to do is just go inland to the Tri-Valley, and the number over here is 31 degrees. So it's the inland valleys that feel it the most, and even though you're not that cold, you are cold enough in the Santa Clara Valley for some frost to have already developed. And no surprise, North Bay Valleys, you're back down into the mid-30s. It's cold there for you as well right now. It's not going to be this cold tomorrow. We're going to get a little bit of help. It'll be slightly warmer. And when we get back together again in the complete first alert forecast, we need to look ahead actually because tomorrow's story is actually some light rain that's going to come through in the morning. Both Tuesday and Wednesday, in fact, have some light rain coming through. We'll time them out. They're not a big deal, but it is some rain. So we'll get specific on details and get you prepared for what to expect there. Could be better rain by the weekend. More on that one as well. For now, Gianna, over to you.
Thank you, Darren. Never good when we get slick surfaces, though, for the morning commute. So thanks for keeping an eye on that, Darren. All right, let's take a look at traffic. San Mateo Bridge crowded. Westbound commuters, it is busy heading over towards 101. No crashes, no accidents, but just everyone back to work and school this week. If you are heading over to 101, making that ride northbound out of San Mateo into Burlingame, you can see in our map here that line of red speeds under 25 miles per hour. There is a bit of a hot spot just as you head towards Burlingame. So if you have an early flight to catch at SFO when you're driving to the airport, maybe take 280. You can cut across 380, work your way back to 101 to save some time, but looks pretty busy through there. And it's busy at the Bay Bridge as well with those metering lights officially on.
Seattle, Alaska, 1282, we just did pressure. We're declaring emergency. We need to descend down to 10,000.
The FAA has now grounded all types of the Boeing 737 MAX G. That's after part of the fuselage blew off during a flight from Portland, Oregon to Southern California. It happened on Friday night. The pilot managed to make an emergency landing in Portland. Thankfully, nobody was seriously hurt, but passengers, they're still talking about that frightening episode.
I look to my left and there's this huge chunk, part of the airplane just like missing.
I felt the wind come forward, and then it came back. It hit me in the face.
Well, the part that blew off was essentially a plug designed to cover an unused exit door. So last night, the NTSB said the part has turned up in a backyard near Portland, and the agency said the discovery could be crucial in the investigation into what went wrong. CBS News senior transportation and national correspondent Chris Van Cleve has the latest from Portland.
That Alaska 737 is back behind me here at a hangar. You can see the plane with the piece missing. When that so-called plug door blew out, the NTSB says it did so with so much force, it ripped open the locked fortified cockpit door some 26 rows away. A passenger had the shirt literally ripped off their back. We're also learning that this was not the first sign of potential problems with this airplane. This plane was just weeks old. It was delivered at the end of October. In the month leading up to this incident last Friday, pilots on 3 separate occasions received a warning light about a potential pressurization problem on the airplane. The day before this flight took off, that happened. Alaska then took the action to restrict where the airplane could fly, saying they didn't want to risk it flying over water for an extended period of time, so they restricted it to mainland flying. It wouldn't go to Hawaii. One of the questions for the NTSB is, if you were going to restrict it, why not ground the airplane? Alaska had flagged it for a deep dive from maintenance to try to figure out what was going on with that light. That didn't happen because the flight to Ontario took off and the door blew off. The NTSB has now found that door. They say that is critical to their investigation. They will begin They will begin looking at that door in detail later today. Investigators will be back at the airplane as well today, poring over the insides, particularly around the area where that door blew out. That is the latest from Portland. Back to you.
Scary situation. Chris, thank you for that update. All right, so this morning there is concern that the war in Gaza could spread to other countries that border Israel. So that's why U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken flew to Jordan and then over to Qatar, warning the conflict needs to stay contained. His message essentially is this: the U.S. is strongly against what he calls forcible displacement of Palestinians from Gaza or the West Bank. He also pled that Qatari officials continue doing what they've been doing, which is brokering and having those talks to release hostages. But keep in mind, this morning, terror group Hamas continues to hold more than 100 hostages. Another topic Blinken pushed for: deep-pocketed Muslim countries to help in the reconstruction of Gaza once the war is over. In fact, today, Blinken will be in Saudi Arabia, Israel, the West Bank, and Egypt before he comes back to the U.S. Now this. You hear that right there. Shouts of shame. Protesters near Berkeley's People Park making their voices heard. They are in absolute opposition to Israel's bombing of Gaza and, of course, the recent closure of the iconic People's Park that has played host to protests for decades in the Bay. The call there: open the park, and for the Middle East, ceasefire. From the East Bay, crossing the bridge over into San Francisco, the sun now shining live on San Francisco City Hall. Hundreds expected to rally in support of a San Francisco resolution calling for a ceasefire in Gaza. We've seen other municipalities do this throughout the Bay Area. In San Francisco, the Board of Supervisors Rules Committee will discuss the resolution later this morning before a final vote tomorrow. Also in San Francisco, a meeting of the AfricanAmerican Reparations Advisory Committee. This after Mayor London Breed approved $4 million for launching a reparations office. Now, some city officials question whether that spend of $4 million is efficient for the city. If you want to watch, you can watch on the city's Facebook stream at 5:30 tonight. Nicole?
Well, it's been an up and down season for the Warriors. Last night, Golden State hosted the Toronto Raptors. Steph Curry had a bit of an off night. He only scored 9 points. That's his second lowest total on the season. And for every move that the Warriors made, the Raptors had an answer, defeating the Warriors 133-118. And now that Draymond Green's suspension has been lifted, could this be the answer that Warriors fans have been looking for? Our Sean Chitness is live at Chase Center with where the Warriors are in the standings and if they're ready for Green to be back on the court with them. And I say yes, Sean. Good morning to you once again.
Hey, Nicole, you say yes, as well as the fans, and we know the team also excited for Draymond to be back, and we saw some signs that he is on his way. He was at practice on Sunday. He was also in the huddles during the game. But of course, we saw that the game, not how people wanted it to end, not a good showing by the Warriors. Certainly defense being part of the reason why they struggled against the Toronto Raptors on Sunday night. They gave up 76 points just in the first half, and now they have dropped down to last in their division. The good news from yesterday, as we were saying, though, especially when it comes to the defense, Draymond Green has rejoined the team. The NBA lifted his indefinite suspension that was imposed last month after his latest flagrant foul. That was because he hit another player in the face. Fans saying they are ready to see him back on the court.
I think that he's a veteran and has been on the team for so long with Steph and Clay, so I think that's what we're kind of missing is like the guidance of the young guys, and like I said, he just kind of brings that really good energy and that passionate energy that a lot of people might not like, but I love having him on our team.
I feel happy because now the defense has more help in the middle part of the court.
I think we are missing some good leaders during crunch time, because we lost some games in the last minutes, so I think it's very important to have him back.
Head coach Steve Kerr said he doesn't know exactly when Draymond will be ready to take the court again, but he's happy as well to have him back and practicing. But even before we can look forward to that, we have to pass on some more concern when it comes to players on the team. There is a report from ESPN saying that Chris Paul could be out 4 to 6 weeks because of a hand injury. Nicole, back to you.
Right, Sean Chitness with the latest. Thank you, Sean.
Well, this just in, former Warriors GM Bob Myers is heading to the National Football League. Myers has been lured to help run the Washington Commanders. Myers won 4 championships with the Warriors and was twice named NBA Executive of the Year. Now he'll start overhauling the Commanders along with another new hire, former Vikings GM Rick Spielman. Now their first order of business is to find a new head coach after Ron Rivera was fired today.